100 years ago this month, Carl Sandburg's most famous poem made its debut. Chicago sang the praises of the city of the big shoulders while acknowledging its faults. "I have seen the gunman kill and go free to kill again," he wrote. Well, now, a century later, Dean Reynolds tells us a modern-day Sandburg has come along to continue Chicago's story.
We wear bullet wounds like birthmarks. We're pushed off diving boards into bloody mistakes that are only viewed as news when the editor's board is bored.
Malcolm London is a poet in a part of Chicago that does not usually inspire verse. He lives in Chicago's Austin neighborhood.
Is this a violent street?
Can I say that a lot of times I was afraid that I wouldn't make it home every day?
London started writing poems in 2009 to give a voice to his community.
This idea that poetry is something that is only for dead, old white dudes who lived in 1600s, right? But it's not. And so for me, the stage was a place to have my voice heard.
More people are starting to listen. Nowadays, you can find him performing for national audiences.
Reading textbooks is stressful, but reading does not matter when you feel your story is already written, either dead or getting booked. Make some noise for that.
Or emceeing a poetry competition called Louder Than a Bomb. It's the largest competition in the country. Kevin Koval is the festival's founder and London's mentor.
I would say Malcolm's one of the most important voices in Chicago.
And why would that be?
He's seen the whole city for what it is. He's angry, but his anger is directed, it's righteous. And so,
Let him channel the anger.
yeah, right, in positive directions.
Y'all remember my favorite part about writing?
London also takes his message to public school classrooms, trying to convince inner city kids they have a voice too.
But I'm saying that poetry or art is like...
It's a higher level.
Yeah, right. I don't also pretend to think poems will immediately change the world, but I do think when kids start writing those poems and people start listening to those things, then they'll actually know what's going on inside these kids' heads.
For this 20-year-old poet, the pen may well be mightier than the sword.
You talk like you've never been north, never been freed. Like you have a history you aren't allowed to know. Why you talk like that? Like you got something to say.
Dean Reynolds, CBS News, Chicago.